What's the worst compliment you've ever got? Your eyeballs always look so lubricated. I have watery eyes. Thank you. Allergies. You smell surprisingly good for your weight. Variation, you don't sweat much for a fat person. I'm a 40-year-old paralyzed man and I get this compliment all the time. Ah man. If I were you I would have killed myself. I guess it's supposed to be a compliment about being in good spirits? Please do not offer compliments to people that are like this. Michael Jordan said to me, thanks, at least you're good for something. He was a guest at our golf course on a very rainy day. If not for his scheduled visit, the course would have been shut down for the day. It was an absolute ghost town. His group started without him. When he arrived they loaded his bag onto the cart to meet up with his group. I was standing about 50 feet away minding my own business. He called me over and asked if he could have the towel I was holding. I replied, of course Mr. Jordan. That's when I got the unwarranted compliment. Don't feel too bad. From the stories I've heard, Michael Jordan is an asshole to everyone. I think that sometimes famous people get a bad reputation because they are under constant scrutiny while in public, even during vulnerable moments, depressed, bad mood, etc. But, from everything that I have heard about Michael Jordan, the guy is just an asshole. Don't take this veiled insult personally. It is a great story. My mom's friends told me this. Yours is the only huge nose that probably does not need plastic surgery. I still don't know how to feel about this. Some people just look best with majestic beaks. You're probably one of them. She obviously meant that even surgery wouldn't help you. Probably. The joke's on her. I cannot afford surgery. You'd be so pretty if your face wasn't covered in those disgusting horrible moles, said by someone who I had been friends with for years. I have like 6 to 7 small moles on my face and before that had never really thought about them. Moles and beauty marks on faces are cute, like darker and sometimes bigger freckles. That person was just really an ass. I think moles on faces are so cute, I am jealous. A dude was opening up a topless bar in my small town. My grandma patted my thigh and said, "You'll be working there soon, won't you?" I was 15. She didn't have any mental issues, just a withered black heart. Maybe grandma wanted company at work. I have a mean aunt who told me only whores wore tank tops. After she took me to shopping to spend a gift card. Guess what I had just picked out? It's a toss-up between you know your ass isn't as flat as it used to be and you are not such a funny shape anymore, courtesy of 2 different aunts. I really never thought I had a flat ass or that I was a funny shape. No one like family to boost your self-esteem. I look robust. You're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Upon my now wife meeting my family for the first time, my mom doesn't have the best way of words. She said, "You guys look like brother and sister. We do a similar skin tone, eyes, and hair color." My stepdad shuffled her to the other room quickly. Someone that my wife and I once worked with thought for a while that we were siblings. All he knew was that we had the same surname and that was enough. I've heard that about me and my husband before also. Who thinks that is a nice compliment? I had this buddy who didn't have a lot of friends and I'd always invite her out to hang with mine. She kept doing some pretty fucked up stuff and just made excuses when we talked about it, so I started distancing myself. Then she said she didn't want to lose my friendship because I was a social doorway. I love introducing my friends to each other and it makes me so happy when they get on / become buddies independently from me. But hearing that that was all I was to her kinda bummed me out. Snip snap that friendship, my man. Now you know why she doesn't have a lot of friends. It's tough out there. I remember being friends with people who didn't have a lot of other friends, and I thought people didn't give them a chance. Then after a while, I realized that wasn't the reason. They didn't have friends because they were a jerk. High school math teacher told me I got the brains and my sibling, 2 years older than me, got the looks. That teacher should not be teaching. Jesus. Didn't help I was a freshman and already insecure about my looks. I noticed later on that most of the teachers in my high school tended to make unprofessional comments to students who they were close to. Most were seen as jokes, but I remember a Spanish teacher who would flirt with any attractive boys in her class, the football and popular boys. Everyone is always awkward as a freshman too. It's just a shitty transition period. I really hate teachers who are like that. You're a teacher, not these kids' friends. I was close with a lot of my teachers, but it was never inappropriate like that. We had some of those at my school, and those were the ones I had zero respect for. Your eyes are so pretty when you cry, keep crying. Yep. Had a boyfriend who had said this after making me cry. Needless to say, he was an ex within minutes. After I got the best test score, 100 plus if I remember correctly, in the class my friend goes, "Wow, I always thought of you as the stupid friend, but I guess I was wrong." Should've said "looks like it was you all along, huh?" and walked off. You're really pretty, but you'd be beautiful if you just lost some weight. Ah, yes. That's the lovely phrase I always hear at my Asian family gathering. I'm white and my girlfriend is Korean. First time I met her mom in Seoul, she was like, "I'm happy he has an okay face, but he could be handsome if he lost weight." Then she moved the mattress off of the guest bed onto the floor, because she was scared I would crack the frame out. I'd heard rumors of how brutal Asian families can be, but that was pretty intense. The worst compliment I got was when a Goodwill employee compared my lighter skin tone to his coworker who had a darker skin tone. He said he liked my skin tone over hers, in front of her. Not to mention, I was underage at the time. You remind me of my granddaughter. Except she's slim, and you've got quite a bit more weight on you. Thanks for sharing, ma'am. Do you have any coupons? I'm still really salty over it because I wasn't even overweight. Not that that'd make it okay, but also I was having a really good time with whatever eating disorder BS, and that didn't exactly help. Plus she just would not leave. I'm trying to ring up the next person and she's still telling me that if I dropped some weight I'd be just as pretty as her granddaughter? I can't decide between these two. 1. I wish I could be as cold as you sometimes. You just seem like you don't care about anything. 2. You're actually pretty for someone with your body type. Proud to say that both of these girls are no longer in my life. When I was a teenager, there was this girl who told me that my sister was beautiful and gorgeous. My quick reflex was to show a repulsed face, not because I don't agree with her statement, just that I was sick of people telling me that she was pretty. I told her, "No, she's not. You should see her without any makeup on." She paused and looked at me. "Now that I think about it, you do look like your sister." Took me years to understand. I lost a bunch of weight, 140 pounds, and more than one person told me I had an amazing husband and it was true love because he married me when I was fat. That marriage lasted 6 years. Not aimed at me, but my friend picked me up while hugging me and my dad saw it and thought it was funny, so told the family. And my grandma said she must be strong. Yikes. You look like your dad. I'm girl. I had an ex-girlfriend that was complaining to me about her overweight annoying cousins to me one day that were set to visit her the following weekend. She tells me, "I mean, these people are fat, even fatter than you. You're not ugly, you're just average looking." A solid 3. I'm 22 and that compliment when I was 17 still hurts. A student stopped me in the hall and said, "Did you know you look pretty sometimes?" Great, thanks kid. You're much more fun when you're drunk. Well, thanks. Got it from most of my friends. They stopped saying it when I became open about having the genes of an alcoholic. Random 60-year-old hippie woman to a 14-year-old me at a county fair. "My dear, you have great childbearing hips." Then she walked away. No way. I've gotten that exact same comment on a few separate occasions. That's so creepy. Yee. Especially as a 14-year-old. During my most recent date with my dude, He was holding my hand and looking at me and he said, "You're so pretty. You're just so pretty. Sometimes you hold your face in a way where you don't look so pretty, but you're pretty." Thanks, man, I don't need to hear every thought you have about my face. Hey, you lose weight, you aren't ugly anymore. Has your skin ever seen the light of day? I was half naked on a massage table so my co-workers could practice a body scrub treatment on me. My boss came into the room and said this, and her skin looked like a vintage leather handbag. "You're pretty but not that pretty." Then this bitch proceeded to say everything that needs to change about me so that I would look prettier. I'm dating her ex-BF that she still likes now and I didn't have to change anything about myself. Fuck that whore. Not the worst, but the most recent. You look thin in photos? I love your style. It's just so cool how you obviously don't care. I was wearing a lot of gray sweatshirts at the time. I made a banana cream pie for a dinner party. One of the guests said, "What an unusual pie. Did you use real bananas?" I had a boss once tell me she couldn't tell if I was the smartest idiot or dumbest smart person she'd ever met. What about you? What's the worst compliment you've ever got? Leave a comment. And subscribe to this channel if you wanna see more same videos.